With the demand for palm oil on the rise, North American corporations are seeking palm oil as a cheaper alternative to other oils used in a variety of consumer goods. But this comes at the cost of severe environmental degradation and the displacement of local communities in Indonesia, the hub of palm oil production. The United States alone purchased close to $700 million worth of palm oil from Indonesia last year, a number that has continuously increased over the past decade. Palm oil is used in approximately 50% of consumer goods, including soaps, lotions, food products, animal feed, and many other products Americans use on a daily basis. Many corporations such as Procter & Gamble and Johnson & Johnson are heavily invested in the palm oil industry. Cargill, the largest held private corporation in the United States, even owns several plantations in Indonesia. Meanwhile, over the past 5 years, other major American corporations like Kraft and Burger King no longer import unsustainable palm oil from Indonesia because of the controversial nature of the palm oil production. It's a lucrative business for numerous industries. Plantation owners work in conjunction with loggers, and government officials are paid bribes to give out permits or turn a blind eye to the palm oil plantations. Jago Wadley, forest campaigner for the Environmental Investigation Agency, looks at palm oil plantations in Indonesia in terms of its relation to deforestation and law enforcement.
The Indonesian government itself has admitted that much of the plantation development for oil palm has happened in often a legal vacuum where plantations develop before they receive all of the relevant permits.
The rainforest in Indonesia is one of the few large spans of dense vegetation left on Earth, and it's being depleted at an unsustainable rate. It's a process that is dually harmful to the planet. Rainforests, known as the lungs of the Earth, harbor thousands of pounds of the world's carbon emissions, but they are being cleared out. Rhett Butler, founder of NGO Mangabey.com, has researched and written extensively on deforestation in Indonesia.
The reason that's a problem is you have forest loss, which triggers, which affects biodiversity, and also releases greenhouse gas emissions. So when you convert like a peat swamp to oil palm, you have a huge surge in emissions, both from conversion of the forest, but also drainage of the peat. And then you also have things like water pollution from all the palm mill effluent, and then you get air pollution from the fires because a lot of times to establish these plantations, they're setting fires. So, there's a lot of environmental issues.
Additionally, clearing of the land results in displacement of many local communities, and numerous species like the Sumatran tiger and orangutan are nearing extinction due to a loss in habitat. Butler says plantation producers argue that producing palm oil is actually better for the environment since oil palm yields the highest amount of oil.
If you were growing coconut trees instead or something for oil, you'd have to cut down a lot more forest. So that's the argument that the industry uses is, well, if we were doing another crop, then it would be a lot more extensive rather than intensive. And then palm oil also generates a lot of money, so some of that money may reach communities, provides good employment. So, there's two sides to the argument about palm oil. But from an environmental standpoint, it does have a substantial impact when forest is converted to an oil palm plantation.
Butler said there are more sustainable ways of handling oil palm plantations that would reduce carbon emissions and minimize forest depletion and also give back to indigenous communities.
The key to all this is basically doing new plantations on non-forest land. One of the approaches that is being talked about is could there be some sort of compensation for not converting forest land? So this whole idea of the carbon payments, and the whole point of doing that is to push production from forest areas to these degraded grasslands.
So forests would be more protected and communities would be directly compensated, and that's the goal. With the increase in pressure on the industry, organizations like the Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil have been established and are setting regulations for palm oil production.
RSPO has kind of become the baseline for quote-unquote sustainability. Most environmentalists say that it's not really sustainable, but it's better than the alternative, which is no certification. So, 90% of palm oil is not certified at all. So, there's absolutely no standards for that.
The RSPO has set some regulations committed to social and environmental responsibility, and many companies that use palm oil have set goals to use sustainable RSPO certified palm oil by 2015. But Butler says that environmentalists are continuing to push for higher regulatory standards, while the oil palm producers push for lower standards. The oil palm industry is convoluted, involving numerous industries worldwide, and it will take much effort, regulation, and government oversight to arrive at a more sustainable means of production. I'm Daniela Vlacic, Washington.